Arsenal Fan TV, time to preview the game. Arsenal versus Manchester City. I think for Arsene Wenger, this is probably his most important game of the season. He had his press conference on Thursday. He refused to talk about his future. There's been rumours that he's going to sign a 2-year contract. There's rumours that he's going to sign a 1-year contract. There's been rumours that he may leave. The truth is, nobody knows. I've spoken to somebody who's quite close to the situation, and they've said to me that Arsene Wenger hasn't made his mind up yet. So, we all know, though, that Arsene Wenger would love to stay. If he didn't want to stay, he would already have said that I'm leaving at the end of the season. So he would love to stay. If he loses against Manchester City on Sunday, I see no way in which he can sign a new contract. You know, he's had a 2-week reprieve, I think. He's come at the perfect time for him after all the losses that we've had recently. The loss to Liverpool 3-1, then followed up with the loss to West Brom. And then he's had, you know, a nice period where, you know, normally he would have been moaning about those 2 weeks international break. But if you've noticed, Arsene Wenger hasn't done one piece of moaning about the international break because it's been perfect for him. He's been able to go away, have a think, slip under the radar a bit, but all the spotlight is back on him now. And if they lose that game against Manchester City, I cannot see how they could possibly come out and say that he signed a new deal. It would be, I'm sorry, the fans would not have it. If he wins the game, however, knowing the way in which our football club work, he could quite conceivably come out and say, well, you know what, I told you guys. I told you I can move this forward. Maybe it's time for a new contract. Or either that would be setting the foundations for, you know, a new contract. Maybe, you know, beat City, follow it up by beating West Ham next week. Beat Palace, 3 in a row. That's the strategy, I reckon. But listen, that's just me thinking. But listen, it's a game against City. It's going to be really tough. City recently have not been great. They've drawn their last 2 games. But previous to that, they won 4 on the bounce. And they were playing really good, attacking, exciting football. I mean, their front three, you know, is brilliant. Aguero, we all know about Aguero. He's just simply an amazing striker. Sterling on one of the wings, electrifying, brilliant. On the other wing, Sane, the kid from Germany, again, electrifying, brilliant. That's those 2 players there, £100 million worth of, you know, wingers playing up against Arsenal. They've got De Bruyne, although De Bruyne is rumoured to have a slight injury and a slight doubt for the game, but De Bruyne is like one of the best deliverers of the ball. You know, they've got power in the midfield as well with Fernandinho. You know, they've got a lot of attacking options and they are really quick at moving that ball forward. And if our defence is not on the money and play like how they have in recent games, we will get absolutely torn apart by City on this counter-attack and, you know, the way they move forward. The only good thing I'd say is that Arsenal recent record against Manchester City, when you have a look at it, it's not too bad. I mean, you know, yes, in the league we've lost 4 out of our last 6 games, which is absolutely diabolical. But against City, we've only lost 1 of our last 6 meetings, and that was the game against Manchester City at the Etihad earlier on in the season. And remember, in that game, we were 1-0 up at half-time. We were playing some decent football, but then we fell apart, as we've seen us do so many times in the second half. So it's going to be one of those games, you know, there hasn't been a game at the Emirates as well for quite a few weeks. So it's going to be one of those games where I think the fans will be very apprehensive at the start. But if Arsenal were to get off to a very good start and to, you know, really be playing some good football, the fans will get behind them. And, you know, you never know, we could get a victory. But if it's the other way around and City gets stuck into us, you know, it could go the other way and the fans could turn. The thing is, right, when you look at the 2 teams, they're very similar in a way in that their strengths are going forward. Going forward and scoring goals is the strength of both teams. Their weaknesses are the same as well. Defence. City's defence, very dodgy. John Stones, I personally think he's a very dodgy defender. I mean, I know so many people come out in the media and try and defend this guy because he's an English player and we want to see him succeed. But I'm sorry, from what I've seen of him this season, he's been dodgy. They try to blame it a lot of times on, oh, it's because he's got Otamendi next to him. Oh, it's because that person's next to him. he's a defender as well. Stop blaming everybody else. He's dodgy, right? So we got to get at Stones. We got to get at Otamendi. We got to get at Clichy. You know, we got to get at Sanya. We can get at that back four and we can cause damage. Their goalkeeping situation we know has been up in the air all season. So that, their defence is weak. But then having said that, our defence ain't been much better. Bellerin's disappeared this season. He was brilliant at the start of the season. He's been so poor recently. Mustafi, ever since he came back from the injury, I don't believe it's... I want a DNA test done, right? Because I'm not even sure that's the same Mustafi. Because the Mustafi at the start of the season was excellent. The recent Mustafi, he's been dreadful. He needs a big game. Koscielny, well, he's been the only sort of consistent defender we've had this season. Monreal, or whether it be Gibbs, those two have been very poor this season as well. You know, so, and then in front of them, you know, Coquelin and people like that have just not. I mean, Coquelin got absolutely torn apart when we played City last time around. So both teams have their weaknesses in defences. Both teams are strong coming forward. And it's going to be an exciting game if you're a neutral. It's going to be a very nervous game if you're an Arsenal fan. And we've got to win this game. If you look at the table at the moment, Manchester City are 7 points ahead of us in third place. We're 6 points behind Liverpool. Liverpool are in fourth place, but we do have 2 games in hand. So we need to start winning all of our games and hope that Liverpool slip up. Because we are in massive danger of not getting into the top 4. And I know there's a lot of fans out there who say, maybe that's a great thing. I don't think that'd be a good thing for Arsenal. Because we're not Man United where, you know, we can be out of the top 4 and spend £90 million on a player and players will still want to come to the club. Arsenal outside the top 4 is not the same because we don't spend that same sort of money. We don't have that pull at the moment. And basically, we're a club in an absolute mess at the moment as well. So what top player is going to want to come? You talk to a top player, they're going to be like, hold on. You've got no Champions League football and your club's a mess. And it's looking like you're going down, not coming back up. Why should I? No, I ain't going there. So it's vital that for me that Arsenal get into that top 4. And it's going to be difficult. United are ahead of us now. So we just cannot afford any slip-ups. Let me give you my team, what I would go for the day. Ospina in goal. We know that Petr Cech is out injured. So Ospina in goal. Hector Bellerin, right back. There's nobody else. He's been playing poorly. He's got to step his game up. Mustafi's got to step his game up. I mean, I was really seriously thinking about, would it be a game to bring in Rob Holding? Gabriel, who's came in, again, I've not been convinced, but Mustafi just about, Koscielny, and then at left back, I'm like, who do you go for, Gibbs or Monreal? Gibbs was awful when we played them, some of the games he's played. I'll go Monreal. Just in front of them, now this is going to be a bit different from me, I'll go with El Neni. Coquelin's been playing badly. I've not been convinced with Xhaka in recent games either. And I think you're going to need somebody who's going to offer some protection to that back 4 because they're going to get run at a lot by Sterling and by Sane. They're going to need protection. I would go with El Neni. One thing I like about him, he gets around the box. He has a lot of energy. I would go with El Neni. I'd have Oxlade-Chamberlain next to him. Oxlade to be doing some creating from deep. Walcott, who's been on good goal scoring form this season, scored against City when we played them earlier this year. Earlier this season, I'd have Walcott in there. If he's fit, Ozil, it looks like he's fit. He's played for Germany. He doesn't seem to play for Arsenal, but he played for Germany the other day. Ozil in there, he's got a lot of impressing to do. Step up in a game like this, show us that you're back. I'd have Welbeck out on that left-hand side because he's a guy that he can get back and offer protection to Monreal, although he was very poor against West Brom as well. And I'd have Sanchez down the middle. I know he's done like a 7,000-mile round trip. He's apparently got a slight knock, but you've got to start with your very best player. and I'd have Sanchez up top, going for trying to get pace in behind, you know, that defence that they have at Manchester City that is not convincing. So that would be my team. What would be your team? Leave it in the comments below. It's a massive game for Arsenal, as I said. It's a do or die game, in my opinion, for Arsene Wenger. But then I've said that before, and he's still alive, you know. So let's see what happens. But leave your comments below. Arsenal versus Manchester City, Sunday, 4 o'clock kickoff UK time. It's going to be big.